And I didn't even know Jake Paul was fighting. So he's saying all this shit. I was in Italy. I didn't even know the guy was fighting. When Jake Paul lost to Fury, I haven't really paid attention to Jake Paul.
I have love for Jake too. I don't know.
Jake Paul just unleashed a bombshell after Dana White absolutely obliterated him with a brutal reality check right in front of the cameras. Let's not sugarcoat it. Jake has been busy building his reputation as the king of cringe. From allegedly fixing a fight with Mike Tyson to swiping left on Andrew Tate's offer, he's practically running a masterclass in making himself look ridiculous. While Dana and Jake may agree on some things, their rivalry has been filled with personal attacks, most of which were initiated by Dana. From calling Jake's fights fake to hiring coaches for Ben Askren, and even throwing steroid accusations his way, Dana hasn't held back. And now Jake is firing back with full force.
And the only time I ever talk about Jake Paul is if I'm asked about him. He just brought him up. I wouldn't have brought him up, right?
But this time, Dana didn't just call Jake out. He dissected his 4-year-long game plan with the precision of a UFC surgeon, exposing moves so absurd they make reality TV look real. Instead of just throwing insults, Dana broke down Jake's every calculated step, revealing the cracks in his carefully crafted persona and leaving no room for doubt about the reality behind his actions.
You think, with all the shit that I got going on and what we're doing, you think I'm thinking about Jake Paul?
No.
I'm not.
So what would one...
And I don't mean that in a way to shit on the...
I know, he's making a lot of money.
It's just the truth.
And honestly, knowing Jake's team, they're probably scrambling to delete the footage faster than Jake runs from real opponents. So yeah, don't blink. You might just miss the chaos unfolding in real time.
We do in the UFC is the best in the world fight the best. That's what we do, you know? What Jake Paul and those guys do is completely different. And again, the kid's doing this thing. I'm not shitting on him. And listen, if smaller, older guys want to fight him, then they're doing their...
It all started when a leaked fight script blew the lid off this so-called showdown, exposing every move as pre-planned. From Tyson's aggressive opening to Jake's cautious mid-round tactics. What was supposed to be a high-stakes battle quickly turned into a scripted spectacle, raising serious doubts about the legitimacy of the entire event.
Sometimes.
And he calls people out for attention.
Yeah.
When you call Alex is a superstar right now.
It wasn't just disappointing, it was insulting. Fans didn't pay to watch a poorly rehearsed play. They paid for a genuine battle. Instead, they got a live-action farce wrapped in glitz and hype. Dana White, never one to hold back, called it a disgrace, and honestly, can anyone argue with him? Let's not forget Dana's main issue with Jake Paul, the predictable blueprint he follows for his fights. It's almost a formula at this point. Find an opponent who's older, smaller, or past their prime, build up the hype, and cash in on the spectacle.
I always thought that Netflix was crazy not to get into live sports sooner than they did. Those guys truly have a global footprint. I think they're late to the game, but it was a big success.
The performance of the broadcast, did that give you pause to do business with Netflix at all?
I didn't think the event was a great event, but they needed to do that. They knew Mike Tyson was going to bring in big...
Tyron Woodley? Check. Anderson Silva? Check. And now, Mike Tyson, a legend who, let's be real, is more famous for his cannabis empire these days than his time in the ring. Jake isn't chasing real competition. He's chasing headlines. But what happens when he steps into the ring with someone his own age and skill level? Well, we already know he loses. Tommy Fury proved that.
I don't know. What do you guys think about it? Who gives a shit what I think? It's not my fight. I love Mike Tyson, personally as a friend, and he's one of my favorite athletes of all time.
Then, there's the cherry on top. Jake's callouts. Canelo Alvarez? Alex Pereira? Come on, these aren't challenges. They're clout chases. Everyone knows these fights will never happen, but the callouts keep Jake trending. Dana sees right through it, and so do the fans. They're tired of the gimmicks and the repetitive formula. How many times can you play the same trick before people stop watching? Jake's strategy isn't evolving, and it's becoming painfully obvious. The frustration is palpable.
What did you expect? Seriously, when you stayed home and you turned on Netflix that night, we were like, holy I'm about to see the greatest live sporting event of all.
Fans who once tuned in out of curiosity or amusement are now calling Jake out for faking his entire career. The gimmicks, the scripted fights, the hollow theatrics, it's all wearing thin. Even Dana, who usually saves his sharpest criticism for the UFC's rivals, can't stay quiet. He's calling Jake out for what he sees as a calculated scam. And for once, the fans seem to be on his side.
Put together a training camp and come in and, I don't like to see guys fighting it. A 31-year age difference during that fight. Just, you guys know what I think of that.
Dana's latest barrage of criticism has made one thing crystal clear. He doesn't see Jake as a fighter. To him, Jake Paul is a marketer, a savvy showman who knows how to sell a fight but falls flat when it comes to the actual fighting. He's called Jake's career a circus act, a spectacle built on gimmicks and carefully crafted theatrics rather than skill or grit. While combat sports thrive on big personalities, Dana's biggest gripe is that Jake's approach is dragging down the credibility of the very sport he claims to love.
I mean, all the people that are, there's a lot of, in Portnoy went out and said that it was the greatest con job of all time.
The UFC is built on one core principle: the best fight the best. Whether it's Khabib Nurmagomedov cementing his legacy or Amanda Nunes dominating her division, Dana has always emphasized real competition over showmanship. This is where Jake Paul's entertainment-first strategy sticks out like a sore thumb. Dana openly contrasts the UFC's ethos with Jake's tactics, pointing out that his matchmaking is more about headlines than actual challenges. His opponents, like Tyron Woodley and Anderson Silva, were once great but far past their prime by the time they faced him. To Dana, this is a blatant strategy to pad Jake's record while avoiding legitimate risks. And then, there's the reality TV comparison, because, at this point, Jake's career is starting to look more scripted than spontaneous. Dana didn't mince words when he called Jake's career a scripted drama designed to go viral. The leaked script for Jake's fight against Mike Tyson only reinforced this claim. Every move, from Tyson's signature bob and weave to Jake's dramatic fifth-round comeback, was pre-planned. This wasn't a fight. It was a poorly executed play, complete with stage directions. For Dana, it was the ultimate insult to a sport built on raw competition and genuine effort. Interview: the Tyson fight was a disaster on multiple levels. For starters, the fight script leaked on social media days before the event, exposing every pre-rehearsed move. Fans who tuned in expecting a clash of eras, a 57-year-old legend versus the self-proclaimed problem child, were left shaking their heads. Instead of a genuine battle, they got a spectacle that would have made pro wrestling blush. Despite not having fought competitively in years, Tyson still managed to expose Jake's lack of skill, landing key shots that highlighted just how outclassed Jake was. Even with his age and physical limitations, Tyson's dominance was undeniable.